Hey friends, so I am here with the first installation of Sip and Scent, a journey through lesser known and lesser named perfume notes. And just like any good perfumer, I'm going to start with some of the base notes that you may not know, or you may uh, know it when you smell it, but perhaps it's not been named by perfumers. And this is definitely true of base notes in particular. Those often tend to be accords, and an accord is just multiple uh, notes that are blended together to make sort of a signature sort of base. And so an accord might be like a musk or an amber, which in and of itself is not actually a note. And so I'll talk about that a little bit later. But like any good perfumer, I will start with the base. And because I'm a perfectionist, I'm going to go in alphabetical order. And so I'm going to start with Ambrette Seed. And so as I've mentioned multiple times, if you've seen my page, you know that I'm all about essential oils. I don't use synthetic fragrance oils at all. And, there's pros and cons to that, of course. Um, but I am very much committed to clean essential oil based fragrances. And by using essential oils, we also get to benefit from the aromatherapy as well as, healing properties of the plants. So the first one that I'm going to talk about right now again is Ambrette Seed. So it might sound a little, interesting, might familiar to you perhaps. And what is familiar probably is amber. So amber is generally an accord. So there isn't, for instance, if you go outside, there's not an amber tree. There's not an amber plant, at least to my knowledge. Now I could be wrong. New things are being discovered every day, especially new things that are outside of our very narrow westernized lens. So maybe somewhere there is an amber tree. However, how in the perfuming world, when amber is being referred to, so if you think about like a baccarat rouge, which is absolutely gorgeous, I know everyone wears it, so people are probably tired of hearing about it, but it is an ambery fragrance. What folks will often do is pick a different ratios of like resins, woods, and that's going to sort of create that amber. And so the reason why it's really nice is because base notes in general, and definitely things like amber, they really work as a fixative. So it helps to extend the longevity of your fragrance. It makes it so that more of the volatile notes. So for instance, like an orange, a sweet orange, for example, or like a bergamot, which is a bit volatile, meaning, within 15 minutes, it's usually a top note. And usually the top notes are the shortest lasting notes in a fragrance. And so what the fixative does is it actually gives you a really nice dry down, but it also helps those top notes kind of meld down into the base note so that it lasts longer than it ordinarily would had there not been base notes. So for example, if I do an essential oil and it's just straight orange, um, it's not going to have the staying power of my layering it to have okay, there's going to be a base, which maybe the base is vanilla. Like vanilla is a pretty common base note, and then orange might be on the top, which will give it some longevity, but it's also going to have the brightness and the uplifting citrusy quality that we really like. And then the dry down is going to be something like an orange creamsicle, and then eventually it'll dry all the way down to vanilla, and then it'll be like a skin close vanilla. So anyway, that's really long. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So Ambrette is one that it's actually considered a plant musk. So there is no, like I said, there's musk means just a combination of different notes. So however, if you want to go for a musky sort of scent, Ambrette is a great choice. And it smells so good. So it's really warm. It definitely has a powdery quality to it. And then it's got some fruit, but the fruit I would say is more of like a fall kind of fruit. So I'm not talking about like um a mango or anything like that, but something like not quite as bright as an apple, but that same kind of like texture to it. And so it's like if you bite into um something similar to an apple, maybe a pear. That's maybe the best way to describe it. So it's got really nice floral. It's got a nice pear. I would say, I don't know what an apple is considered in terms of the fruit kingdom, but it's that sort of like, it's like a juicy, but it's also got, it's not tart like an apple. It's kind of like maybe a golden delicious apple. Maybe that's something that's probably closer, but then I would think of a pear. So you know, a Bartlett pear, that sort of scent to it. Very, very nice. And so in the fragrance world, this might be included as part of somebody's musk accord. And so for me personally, I do use it as part of a musk accord, particularly for the Siren, which is one of my newer fragrance oils. And this one is just oh, it's so good. It's a really fruity, gourmand scent to it. It's got lots of really juicy black currants. It's got Davana in it. It's just really, really nice and sweet, but not cloyingly sweet. It's really like a nice, I'm gonna say fall wine is what I would go. Like a fall red wine would be really, really nice way to describe that. And Ambrette is actually one of my musk notes that I use in that. So getting back to Ambrette, it's got the smell is just absolutely divine, but it's also amazing for aromatherapy purposes, for centering, for grounding. And frankly, a lot of the base notes that we use commonly, the healing properties of them are that they are grounding. And so it's always just a nice sort of synergy between base, which is kind of like, again, like the centering, the fixative part of the fragrance, as what, and then the grounding, which is again kind of like a base for us as, you know, whether it's a chakra, you know, whether it's your centering mental health. Like it's just very, it's a strong, comforting, just sensual, balanced healing. Like that's just really what it is. And that's a lot, very much so associated with like the root chakra, which is the root and sacral, I would say, with the sensual sort of coming in, because it is, Ambrette is quite sensual. So I would say this would be kind of a both a crown, or sorry, both a root and a sacral chakra. And it performs as such in healing. So in terms of sip and scent, oh God, every time I smell it, I'm so happy. So in terms of sip and scent, I mean, this is just like, mm, 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 mm. So this would be a Pinot Gris, I think. If I was gonna pair with Ambrette, it would need to be a lightly floral, lightly fruity white wine for sure. So Pinot Gris, Gewürztraminer, I think will be good. And then because I am honestly, I'm never gonna not want to drink Saint Germain. That's just the reality of it. I think Saint Germain is a little too floral for Ambrette, but I'm gonna tell you right now, elderflower is what I would pair with anything that even has a hint of floral, because I love, love, love the complexity and floral nature of Saint Germain, which is an elderflower liqueur if you don't know. And so I would probably, you know, pair that with like some vodka or some gin, because it is light. Like even though it's got that grounding nature, it's light. It's not heavy like say benzoin or Toulouse Blossom or Pearl Blossom, anything like that. It's not quite as heavy, but it's quite beautiful. And I think I would love right now to just have an elderflower gin and tonic with this and smell this. I could do this all day. So anyway, I hope that that's helpful. I should probably write a script next time so the video is not so long. But thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful for you. I am such a fan of Ambrette Seed. I think it's just phenomenal. I think that it's nice to sort of pull back the veil of what an amber or what a musk might be. And Ambrette is really at the heart of a lot of them. So you'll see it featured and you know, even some of my own formulations. But next time you look at a fragrance and it says, oh, it's got a musk, particularly if it's got a white musk, because this is a lighter, it's probably Ambrette. Ambrette's in there somewhere is what I'll say. So anyway, till next time.